If you are considering buying a new car in the UK right now, there are 6 brands quietly collapsing that no showroom will ever warn you about. These names once dominated UK forecourts and are now being rejected by British buyers at a historic rate. Sales are imploding and values evaporate the moment you drive away. Dealers are stuck with unwanted stock they cannot shift. We identified 6 specific brands in genuine freefall in 2026. Here is what the industry is desperately trying to hide. Tesla. The name once meant status, innovation, future-proofing. Now, it is a red flag for risk. In the past 12 months, used Tesla values in the UK have collapsed down a staggering 57%. That is not a typo. A Model Y that cost £55,000 in 2022 now struggles to fetch £24,000 on a trade-in. Dealers are offering just 38% of original list price. Owners were blindsided, watching thousands evaporate with every passing week. CAP HPI data confirms it. Tesla is the only major car brand to lose more than half its value in 3 years. Depreciation once reserved for obscure, unloved models is now the new normal for Britain's most visible electric car. 70% of UK Tesla owners now say they are embarrassed to be seen in their car. A viral Facebook group called Tesla Shame exploded with more than 1,200 comments in 2 days. Meme after meme, screenshots of plummeting prices, confessions of regret. The Carmula survey spells it out. 7 in 10 would never buy another Tesla. Dealers cannot shift used stock. Buyers vanish. The brand, once synonymous with progress, is now synonymous with financial pain. Jaguar too is in freefall, a 41.2% collapse in UK registrations in just 1 year. The trigger was a £1.9 billion ransomware attack in September 2025 that shut down production lines for weeks. Factory gates locked, deliveries frozen, confidence shattered, fleet buyers walked away. The fallout was empty showrooms, slashed budgets, and a brand that has dropped out of the UK's top 30 for the first time in living memory. For both Tesla and Jaguar, the message is clear. These are no longer safe bets, they are financial traps, and the warning signs are everywhere. DS, the badge that promised Parisian chic, now a warning sign for wallet pain. 3 years after driving a DS3 Crossback off the forecourt, owners watch nearly half their money vanish, and CAP HPI ranks it the worst depreciator in the entire UK market. Not a niche quirk, but a mainstream disaster. Used S models pile up at auction, dealers slash prices, and buyers steer clear. No brand in Britain loses value faster. Citroën isn't faring any better, once a staple of British roads, now almost invisible. SMMT figures show new Citroën registrations have sunk below 2,500 in early 2026, less than 1% market share. Walk into a dealership and you will find empty showrooms, sales teams running on hope, and managers quietly preparing for the worst. The brand's presence is fading fast, with fewer ads, shrinking dealer networks, and little sign of a turnaround. For families, the risk is clear. Buy a DS or Citroën today, and you are likely to be trapped in negative equity within months. Trade-in offers are rock bottom if you can get one at all. Owners face the nightmare of owing more on finance than their car is worth. Unable to sell, forced to watch values sink even further. The message is blunt. These are no longer safe bets. DS and Citroën have become financial traps, and the industry silence is deafening. Fiat. Once the go-to badge for budget-conscious families, now a silent warning on the used car lot. The numbers are brutal. CAP HPI data shows the Fiat 500e loses half its value in just 3 years, 50% gone. Buy new and wave goodbye to thousands before the first MOT trade-in offers. Dealers laugh you out the door. Owners are stuck in negative equity, facing finance shortfalls, desperate to offload but finding no takers. The promise of cheap electric motoring has turned into a financial sinkhole. Buyers who thought they were playing it safe are now trapped, unable to move on. Mitsubishi's story is even bleaker. The Outlander PHEV, once a fleet favourite, is now a dead weight. 53% value loss in 3 years. The brand has vanished from the top 30. New registrations are under 1,000 for all of the 2026. Dealer networks are withering away. 2 major depot closures mean parts are harder to source and costs have spiked, up to 30% higher for basic repairs. Owners face long waits, inflated bills, and a shrinking pool of mechanics willing to touch the cars at all. Try selling? Dealers do not want them. Private buyers are even warier. The Mitsubishi badge has become a liability. For ordinary households, the risk is no longer abstract. These are not obscure luxury names or experimental startups. Fiat and Mitsubishi are, or were, mainstream brands parked on driveways across the country. Today, they are financial traps. The lesson is clear. Check the depreciation charts before you buy, scrutinise the true cost of ownership, and think twice before betting your savings on a badge with no future. Fleet managers are voting with their wallets, and legacy brands are losing. The BYD Han arrives in the UK at £38,000. That is a £7,000 undercut against the Jaguar I-Pace. Not a marketing gimmick. It is a real price gap on every invoice. BYD goes further with a 3-year buyback guarantee at 60% of the original price. For fleet buyers, that is not just tempting, it is a safety net. Total cost of ownership is 15% lower than the old guard. SMMT data confirms the swing. BYD and Kia's share of major fleet procurement jumps from 12 to 31% in a single year. Jaguar, DS, Citroën, once default choices, now account for less than 3% of new fleet EV orders. The market share tells the story. Chinese brands now command 18% of all UK registrations, up from near zero just a few years ago. Procurement chiefs are not chasing badges, they are chasing numbers. Every pound saved, every risk covered. The result is a procurement exodus, starving legacy brands of the lifeblood they once took for granted. Every claim in this expose stands on hard evidence, no guesswork, no industry spin. Data comes from CAP HPY, the gold standard for UK depreciation. SMMT is the official voice for new car registrations. Lex Autolease is Britain's largest fleet lessor, tracking real-world losses. Automotive World dissects fleet procurement and cost of ownership. No anonymous leaks, no hearsay. Every number, every warning, is sourced directly from the bodies that set the benchmarks, and we show the sources for full transparency. If it is not in the data, it is not in this film. That is the standard. What follows is not opinion. It is a survival guide built on the same numbers that fleet managers, finance houses, and the industry itself rely on. The next section arms you with the tools to avoid the same financial traps that have caught out thousands. The numbers are brutal, but there is a way out. Lex Autolease sets the benchmark. Any electric car that won't hold at least 48% of its value after 3 years is a financial hazard. Ignore the hype and start with the data. Before you even step onto a forecourt, pull up CAP HPI or Auto Trader. Search the exact model, check 3-year-old listings, and compare what is left of the original price. If the figure is below 48%, walk away. That is the red line. Next, calculate the real cost. Add up the purchase price, insurance, and predicted depreciation over 3 years. Don't trust the salesman, trust the numbers. Use Lex Autolease's public tools, or plug figures into a total cost of ownership calculator. If the sums do not stack up, do not gamble your savings. Safer bets do exist. Volkswagen, Kia, and Toyota consistently hold stronger residuals, often above 55% after 3 years. Look for brands with stable resale values, active dealer networks, and a track record for reliability. The message is simple: buy with your head, not your heart. Check the numbers, protect your wallet, don't end up trapped. 6 brands, the worst depreciation in the UK. Sales are collapsing, Tesla down 57%, Jaguar has fallen out of the top 30, D has become the country's value disaster. These are financial traps with negative equity and no exit. Check real resale values and avoid the risk. Demand proof before you buy. Your money deserves better. Share your experience below.